All right, I know we haven't looked at Nikes in a while, but I feel like this one's pretty notable. I mean, I really liked this shoe a lot back in the day, especially this colorway is super sick. So I thought we'd kind of unbox these P-Rods and get a closer look. Not gonna lie, there's a few things about these shoes that are actually pretty chill. All right, so I feel like we're a little late unboxing this shoe. This shoe came out, what, maybe a few weeks ago already. So I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of reviews about this shoe, but if you haven't, well, you get me now. I'm out in the white leather version, and I think it was only white leather because the ones that I got, they were size 9. That's what I normally ride. And they were actually really tight. So I'm hoping that the suede will be a little bit more roomy just because suede is like that, you know, it expands a little bit more. That white, you know, leather, just super tight leather. But I feel like once you do break it in, it could get better. It could break in a little bit more. Knowing that they were so tight on me, I actually got a 9.5 in this one just in case. Like I mentioned, this is a reissued shoe from like the early 2000s. The one that I normally skated was just the plain black suede one, and it had the gum sole on it. It was super sick. But I feel like during that time, like I was skating SXLs that were black with the gum sole, and like any skate shoe to me at that time, like visually, if I thought of a skate shoe, it had to be black suede with a gum sole. But I do like this colorway actually. It's kind of like the P-Rod bread version, sort of say, like the Jordan breads, you know, with the red and black combo, but we got the gray in here. And it's funny because always seeing this kind of like P-Rod logo pattern was always so like just plush and fancy. I remember like seeing that and just being like, well, that's fancy, you know what I mean? Enough about the color, let's actually talk about this shoe a little bit, because this shoe is honestly like the Dunk 2.0, or like it's like the buffed up Dunk pretty much. And like I used to love skating Dunks, but I feel like this shoe was actually a little bit better than the Dunks for a few reasons. I do want to show you guys a normal Dunk right here. So just kind of even, right, you can kind of tell already that they are very similar. Just from the toe cap, you can see it's very similar. Even down to the cup sole, it's pretty similar until you until you look actually right here, kind of where it separates right there from like that little like gum sole part. Look, we actually got some tread here on the cup sole. And this is kind of nice, I'm not gonna lie, because usually when you have like, when it's usually super smooth like this, just kind of on a dunk, you kind of whiff your first few flip tricks. This, you won't whiff it, sort of say. These extra little lines here are actually gonna grip on your board and help flick. So this is like one of those cup soles that you could skate out the box actually, and it's gonna be really nice and flicky. Especially being suede, it's probably gonna be even better. As you guys saw, the Dunk did look very similar to this toe cap right here with the bend right here, which is really nice. I feel like that's very key, you know, with this shoe. Just from visually and just having a nice big kind of toe box like that, I always liked. The other thing I do want to mention that was pretty similar to the Dunk is just having that big poofy tongue right here. Having that big poofy like elastic tongue is very key to me too, especially like in a skate shoe. I think that's what makes a good skate shoe in my opinion. Of course, that's just me, because whenever I do flip tricks, the board lands on my top of my foot, so like I like having that extra big cushion. But as you move to the back of the shoe, now you kind of get like that Jordan inspo. You know, you can kind of see like Jordan 2s kind of in here, Jordan 1s, you know, you kind of get that vibe with this. And 3s and 4s, you know, having the air bubble, you know, you can kind of see it. So you kind of get that hybrid between Dunk and Jordan. And I want to say this shoe is actually a little bit lighter than I remember, because, you know, let's talk about the bottom of the shoe really quick. The tread on this shoe is actually really good. It's actually way better than freaking a Dunk sole. This Dunk grip is not very good. I feel like it's not, the Dunk grip is not terrible. It's not bad. Like, it obviously works, but I definitely think this is a little bit better. And I know, don't get me wrong, you're going to get little rocks stuck in here, you know, which is going to suck, but like, is what it is. But I believe this also has that carbon plate that sits in the middle of the shoe, which is, I think it's actually in between the midsole and the outsole right here or whatever. It's kind of in between that. That little carbon plate, I know it's good because it kind of keeps the structure of the shoe, where like in a Dunk, after you skate it for a while, it gets really floppy and stuff. I think this shoe holds its structure a little bit better just because of that little carbon plate. I want to say the original shoe had that, but I honestly can't even think of it right now, because it did have something weird here. I don't know if it was the same kind of carbon plate or whatever. I know a lot of running shoes have that, because when you run or something, it helps it like snap back into like normal place or something, or the resistance or something weird. I know when in the running aspect that carbon plate actually does do something. So obviously it's skating, it obviously must do something besides keeping it like sturdy and keeping it structured. Because I'm sure when you run out of tricks or whatever bail, I'm sure it does something. The other thing I really like about this shoe is how puffy it is around the ankles right here. I love this. I feel like I depend on this like poofiness, especially when I do heel flips like right here. Like it kind of bounces off of that, you know? So I feel like I do like that. And just having cushion around the ankle, I don't know, it's just nice. It's pretty necessary, I feel. inside of the shoe. It looks so wild, you know, with the insole right there. But you know, I am curious if they put the insole in the shoe, if it has the little air bubble, or if we just got straight nothing, you know what I mean? If it's just straight foam. So hold on, let's open this thing out. I'm curious. I mean, so, okay, this is the insole it came with, just this kind of perforated nothing right here. Like this is like literally nothing actually. I know that there's a lot of cushion and everything back here. From the ball of your foot to your toes, you're gonna feel your board fine. It's back here is where you're gonna actually not really feel too much, but you're gonna still get, you know, a good amount of cushion on this shoe. Where like in the dunk, that was the thing with the dunk, like even bailing kind of low things, I felt like my feet were starting to hurt with that shoe. So I feel like this would definitely be like a nice little step up from that. The insole though, obviously it doesn't have that air bubble. There's a lot of heel cushion in the shoe, but I want to say the original one did come with the little air bubble right here. I could be tripping. I could be tripping. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just talking about this one, like this, right? Like this normal basic Nike insole with the little air bubble. I swear this came in that shoe originally, but I could totally be tripping. It's been a long time. I know, it's kind of funny. I was looking at this shoe and I was like, real talk, what else would I do to change this shoe? And the one thing I'd actually do is it's only double stitched here. I think if it had triple stitching, it would be a lot better. No, the ollie patch right here slash flick is gonna go really quick. That too, that stitching right there. I don't know, I feel like I wish there was just one more layer of stitching or something just to kind of make it hold up a little bit more. It's not a terrible shoe, you know? I feel like for a retro shoe, it's not bad. Obviously, you know, I'm not really skating Nikes right now, so obviously you can go skate some etnies like your boy right now. Completely different than this, obviously. Really haven't done any reviews or anything on any other recent skate shoes that have been out. I've really only been doing etnies. So I did want to kind of show this one and talk about it a little bit just because it is a little nostalgic for me. Remember when this shoe came out, it was like kind of crazy because it was still kind of love and hate at that time because people hated Nike because it was not like a core skate brand, you know, at the time yet. It was definitely still really like taboo and weird for Nike to be in the skate scene, especially giving P-Rod a shoe. But also people were super excited and hyped for Paul and for the shoe and everything. So I felt like it was a very interesting time when this shoe came out. So regardless, I wish I actually still had my original pairs. I know I have a few photos I'll share throughout this video. But yeah, comment, let me know what you guys think about these shoes. Did you guys ever skate these? Did you guys ever skate any of the other early 2000 Nikes? Because the other crazy one that comes to mind is the Nike Tray. It was like the other shoe that had like that crazy material all over it. It was the unrippable freaking material that they were using. It was wild. I don't know. Let me know if you guys remember those shoes because, yo, I'm not gonna lie, that would be a dope shoe to bring back.